Hi there, I'm Mark Mart, and my nursing is off duty. It's been one of those long days. I was training all day long. Then I had something like a 2 or 3 hour break, which I had appointments at the doctor's, cute doctor, no ring on his finger. But, doctors, they make it a habit not to have their rings on. So I was like, don't be thinking about all that. And plus, it's like you wouldn't want to like look at somebody who already looked at your body and checked you out. It's like, that's kind of creepy. So I got out of that. That was fun. And I went home for like half an hour, changed clothes, took a snack, went back to work, training all day. So I just got home. I'm so exhausted. I told my mom she better take me out to eat because it was my birthday and I'm still waiting for that birthday present. So my mom said she'll cook for me and I settled because I am starving. So that's how my day went. So this is live nursing. I'm so happy today because I found out that I'm getting a 7% salary increase. I almost cried. I was like, OMG, good things happen to me all the time, all day, every day. So that is wonderful. But, I'm just like everybody else, life challenges, but God always works it out and He's always doing great things towards me. And I love God because He lets me be myself. He created me to be me. And I always, every now and then, I run into somebody who doesn't understand me. But I feel like in the world we live in, people don't make any effort to understand people, or they want to make quick judgments, or it's like, let me see. So this past week, I get a message with someone saying like, "Oh, I feel like you're self-absorbed now, you know." And I was just like, "Do you realize that I spent 75 hours a week serving other people? And if at the end of the day I get to take a selfie or even a couple of them or do it on my days off after I do like these 5 days back to back, you really feel like that's a selfish thing for somebody to do, you know?" And the other thing I feel like so many people have like false humility because I'm always looking at this post people are making like, okay, let me say this one. So I was looking at this one. This is from my friend, and I value this person, but they were criticizing because a lot of people are losing weight and different people say different things. But this person goes, "Oh, you know, I see some people trying to take all the credit for their weight loss, but I say it was purely the grace of God." And I was just like, oh. And I'm like, first of all, let's be scriptural here. The Bible talks about how by grace you've been saved, but at the same time, it's like you have to work because it talks about keeping your salvation. And I feel like it's the same in everything we do. God has a grace that covers you and allows you to do things. But for example, grace allows you to go to school. Grace doesn't give you a license. You know what I'm saying? If you're like me, if you're a licensed professional, that license was not for free. You struggled for that license. It's the grace of God that you made it through the struggle. But you cannot say it was purely the grace of God because, to be honest, I did not sit my behind down and this license just fell out of heaven. That would be purely God and nothing else. You know what I'm saying? And then with the weight loss, it's like, I'm sorry, this is the hardest thing I've ever done. I've done a lot of hard things in my life, but this is yet the hardest thing I've ever done. The grace of God covered me. Before I used to make all these efforts and nothing still came out of it. You know what I mean? But the grace of God being there means that He showed me a way, He opened doors, but I too worked with them. Let's be biblical. The Bible talks about how by grace we have been saved, but at the same time, it talks about how the faith that we're talking about, the kind of faith we're talking about, isn't like you're sitting at home and you just say, I have faith. It says, faith without works is dead. That's the Bible. That's what it says. I didn't make this up. Faith without works is dead. So anybody who is going around claiming that it was purely the grace of God, but they're out there dieting, then I don't understand how you can say that. That makes absolutely no sense at all. If other people are saying, hey, I worked hard to get here, and you're saying, oh, that means that they're trying to take all the credit. I don't think anybody ever takes all the credit. You might see a couple posts of somebody say, I'm dieting hard, I'm working hard, but that doesn't mean that they're taking all the credit. Sometimes I feel like people say weird stuff just to be provocative and self-righteous. And if you're going to be spiritual, be spiritual. You don't need to attack other people and their journey and how they phrase things, or try to make wars out of things that clearly require no war. And also, here's the other thing. God allows there to be grace, but not everybody out there is praying. Not everybody out there is asking him. Some people literally go and do their thing and accomplish their thing. God still helped them, but their experience isn't that they had a relationship with God. There's people out there with weird religions who do things and accomplish things, and you cannot come back at them and be like, oh, they forgot to thank God. God helps everybody. It says God reigns on the just and the unjust, but if it's not their experience, what are you mad about? What are you complaining about? So these are some of the things that kind of bother me. Like when people are trying to be so spiritual, if it's your journey, you can talk about your journey, but you have no authority to talk about somebody else. Hello. And also, people take pride in all kinds of things. We are in a society, we are a capitalistic society, we are a society that loves education. People take pride in different things. People take pride in their families, in their education, in their accomplishment, however various they may be. Now, notice that I don't come and throw my education in your face. I don't come and throw my family status in your face. I don't come and throw a lot of things in your face that I have accomplished. I have a lot of different experiences that I never throw in anybody's face. Guess what? I don't even tell people that I'm a nurse. They usually dig to figure out and find out that I'm a nurse, because people get into, so what do you do? Who do you work for? Blah, 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 blah. But a lot of my friends, notice that on Facebook, I don't put who I work for. I don't ever talk about who I work for. And I work for pretty powerful, impressive entities. I only say I work for multiple hospitals, which I do. I have 3 hospitals that I do work for, and other hospitals that I work for registry. I don't mention them, even though it could give me brownie points. But I'm just saying there's a lot of things that I don't share out of consideration that somebody might feel smaller, because it is my experience that sometimes you'll share something and people will just begin to, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, you have education and I don't, oh my gosh, you're doing this and I'm not, and I'm not built that way. For me, I'm like, you get married, that's great, I'll be married someday, it's just not now. I don't feel bad about it, but I notice that some people do feel bad about certain things that people are accomplishing. So a story, when I was younger, I used to just say anything and everything and I didn't care. And now I have to be more considerate, because we have a lot of people with a lot of insecurities, or they haven't been afforded the same opportunities. I've been afforded a lot of opportunities, both good and bad. I've been a refugee, I've been poor, I've been rich, I've been all of it. I've been a lot of things. I've had a lot of diverse life experiences. I've been on my own. I've owned my own house and lived a luxurious life. And at some points in my life, I've lived with like all my sisters crushed up in one room. I've lived with like a bunch of strangers that I don't know. We're like 5 girls in a 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom, stuff like that, But it's a lot of diverse experiences. And no, I don't come and throw them in your face and you don't know about them, because I don't care all that much for you to be impressed or unimpressed. I just, so a lot of times in my life, sometimes I'll focus on one thing. It might be weight loss, or, Sometimes I'm undergoing something really big and I still don't talk about it. Notice that I became a CNA and never talked about it. I became an LVN, never talked about it. I became an RN and I actually didn't talk about it for a while. I talked about being an RN after I had become pretty experienced. I shared a little bit when I passed like the NCLEX, but it's like if I do talk about it, people are like, "Oh my gosh, you think you're better?" And I'm like, "No, it's because this is the life that I live. This is what I do 24/7. I am a nurse. This is what I do most of my time. I'm a nurse, and that's what I do. If you're a biker and that's what you do all the time, that's what you want to talk about because that's what you do. Being a nurse is all I do. I work for a million different entities and I see people all day. I see patients, I see coworkers. This is my life. So that's what I talk about. Now, weight loss. That's the other thing that's a big part of my life. So that's what I talk about. I can't talk about kids because I don't have kids running around in my life. I do have some children in my life, but they're not mine. They're not exactly mine, and I'm not tied to them. And I don't spend 24 hours with them. And a lot of things that people talk about on Facebook with these family lives, my life is just different. I don't have a husband to worry about. I don't have boyfriend dramas. So what else would you want me to talk about? Why does it bother you if I talk about the things that are actually happening in my life and don't focus on the things that are not? Why does that bother you? Why do you have to bring it to me and then start making something out of it? You're self-absorbed. I'm like, no, I love fashion and I love my fashion. And I share it because everybody else loves it too. I am lying. And so it's interesting because I always have like a friend every now and then. It's always in a blue moon. Somebody will try to say something provocative and self-righteous and, oh, you're self-absorbed. And I'm like, you're self-absorbed because you're posting about your kids 24/7. You're posting about what you're doing and I'm posting about what I'm doing. So what's up? Why am I more self-absorbed than you? We're both doing the same thing, but I feel like sometimes people have a problem with languagery that I use because I'm not one of those people who feel sorry for themselves or feel sorry for the world. I'm just like, no, every day is a great day. But for me, everything is great. If I eat a meal, it's a great day. If it's raining, it's a great day. That's my person. I'm very appreciative of everything God does, from giving us a meal to eat, from the shoes that we're wearing, the purses I'm carrying, the car that I'm driving safe on the freeway. I'm a generally happy person. There's other people on Facebook who are depressed and they talk about their depression 24/7. You may want to defriend me and go and accept them if you're bothered by the fact that I'm happy about anything and everything. And I take pride of everything in my life because Jesus gives it to me. Jesus does it for me. So who am I to complain? Who are you to complain? Why do you have to bring it to me? Why are you hot and bothered? I don't understand it. It's not your life. You don't have to look at my Facebook. There's a lot of people that do pretend they don't look at my Facebook, but I know they do. And honestly, I don't care because I'm not trying to entertain you. If I did try to entertain you, it would be a whole lot different things on there, but I'm just being me. Don't take it so personal. It ain't about you. If you come on my Facebook and you make that about you and your self-righteousness, how could you call me self-absorbed? You are taking someone else's page as something like they have to answer to you. That is ridiculous. It's immature. It's manipulative, and I don't fall for it. Because this right here works. For real. On the real. I just had to say that. Because I feel like being a nice person, sometimes that's why I make sarcastic remarks. So people can know I do have some sarcasm in me. Because being a nice person, people feel like, ooh, when I was big, it's like people felt like they could harass you because you're big. Being a black woman, people feel like they go around harassing black women, so they could come and harass you as a black woman. And then losing weight, people try to use that against you too as a weapon, like, oh, well, you're obsessed about your weight loss. Well, you're obsessed about what you eat. You're darn right I am. So what? You're obsessed about TV. You're obsessed about some other stuff that don't make sense. This is my body. This is my temple. I love this temple and I need this temple to work because this temple gets me through 65 hours plus of work. This temple takes care of other people. This temple takes care of my family. Why would I not take pride of this temple? Do you have an answer for that? This temple is God's temple. God lives in here. God made this. This is for his glory. God is going to resurrect this temple further. So there. And so I just had to say that. So all you people with wonderful comments, save it because we're going to go to war. And again, like I said, this only happens once in a while, but I really hate people coming at me with some nonsense, self-righteous comments because they feel like they're going to put you in check. I'm like, no, my life has nothing to do with you. And here's the other thing. Don't be a person who's not in my life at all trying to talk to me about my life because you don't know anything about my life. You don't know not a thing. Not a thing. I have some of these people just because you're on my friends list. I haven't seen you in a bazillion ages. I don't know who you are, what you're made out of. And that's why I never come and talk to any of you about your life because I don't know you. It's ridiculous to go into someone's life that you're not in, that you don't know anything about. What? You saw a picture about something and you made a judgment about it, which usually is an incorrect judgment because first of all, a lot of things I say, I'm actually practically joking. I make fun of myself quite a bit. It's not a serious thing because it's Facebook. This is not some intellectual conversation and I do need it. I do need a place to laugh and relax and be ridiculous because all my interactions with the world are usually serious. I'm dealing with people in their lives and their well-being. So when I'm there, when I'm at work, I have to be serious. I have to be professional. I have to be accurate. And it's a place where you always have some form of anxiety because it's intense. You have to pay attention. You have doctors, patients, people who can be compromised. So when I come home, when I make a Facebook post, I want to get as far away from all that mess as possible. I don't really watch TV shows. There's a lot of regular things that other people do that I don't. So excuse me if I make a post that is ridiculous or funny or that doesn't suit your taste. It ain't about you. It is about me because it's my Facebook. My Facebook. So, I just had to say this because I thought that everybody has like some common sense where you kind of get it. Like this is online. You could be anything online. I could be anything I want online. And so, but people take it like, oh, as a Christian woman, I noticed this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, get over yourself. Seriously. I'm like, you don't know anything about my spiritual life. When I'm over there hanging out with homeless people, when I'm over there helping all my friends who are having disastrous moments in their life, you're not there and I don't talk about it and I don't post it because God says not to. But, I wear a dress and I took a picture of it and you're going to use that and try to say something about me, about my personality and what I do. I had to remind one of my friends, I was very disappointed when you made some weird comment about me because I was like, do you forget that I'm the same person who is 100% all about taking care of other people? Well, did you forget? So, exactly. All right. So this is a nurse distressing. Sometimes you just have to say stuff that would be common sense, but I guess you have to say it. So I had a great day. It was stressful. Now I'm gonna go eat mama's cooking and hang out with my ridiculous family and be all the more ridiculous, and I'll probably post something about it. Okay, love you. Have a great day. Bye bye.